Welcome everybody to another Tuesday. Hello, how are you? It is Ahysen Nation, and where are we? I don't know where we are. There, hang on. There. Hello. Good to see you. We're got another Tuesday edition of the Ahysen Nation going on today, and we're so excited to have with us the incoming Executive Director of CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates, and we're glad to welcome Allison Traxler. Mm-hmm. I know a Terry Traxler, and this is your Traxler.
Correct.
Very good, and you have been coming in as incoming executive director. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And outgoing executive director, we got to say a shout out to her. She was there for a long time, right? Tell us about this special lady.
Yeah, that's Liz Betts. She's retiring after almost 30 years. As the executive director of CASA, so I have big shoes to fill, and she's a wonderful lady and has taken CASA to so many great levels.
That was wild. So Liz, outgoing, have a great, now is she retiring?
She's retiring.
Oh no.
Yes.
She'll probably still, you'll see her around.
She'll be a phone call away.
She's a was very active, as you mentioned, in CASA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a good 4th?
I did. Barbecues.
Sort of relaxed.
Sort of relaxed. I have 2 big dogs that were swimming on top of us while we were trying to float, so that's not very relaxing.
Fun. I love it. Well, so Liz is still there. When is she going to not be in the building?
August 31st is her last day, so I was blessed. The board allowed me to come in a couple months early to shadow her and to be able to kind of learn the ropes and get ready for our big annual fundraiser, which is the July 31st.
Which is what we're here to talk about.
Yep. 28
years for the little house?
Mm-hmm, the Playhouse.
I call it the little house. I had who was it that told me not too long ago, they said, you know what? They said, you can go in that house and stand up and not touch your head.
I can stand up and not touch my head.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, it's a great, the Playhouse raffle has been going on from June 1st through July 31st.
Wow.
It's at the main library, so if you want to see it, you can go to the main library on Goodwood, and once you get in the door, you can stand up. It's wired with electricity. You can put a tiny window unit in it, lights.
I was kind of kidding, but are you serious?
I'm not kidding. Yes, I can fit in it. I took a grandpa in there last week to see if he could make it his own he shed. So it's really big once you get in the door.
I have a picture. You'll see me going and doing things because I've got so many things on my computer here. But I've got a picture of the house itself. There it is.
Yes.
Now, where is this on display?
Right in the lobby of the main library on Goodwood Boulevard. Falk and Meek, give a shout out to them. They assemble it and they will bring it to the winner's home up to 30 miles from the library. And tickets are $5. You can buy a raffle ticket. So it's a dream playhouse for kids and adults.
$5. Is there a limit on how many you can buy?
You can buy $10,000 worth if you want, Johnny.
That is so awesome. Now it's going to be given away on Sunday the 31st?
The 31st is our fiesta, and that's our event where we are at the Renaissance Hotel. You can buy tickets. It's food catered by Superior Grill, and at 8 o'clock we pull the winning raffle ticket for the Playhouse.
Wow, that
and
is awesome.
All of the funds support the work that CASA does here as court-appointed special advocates for children.
Well, I want to get into that a little bit because when I first heard of CASA many years ago, I thought it was a fostering in-home type program, but that is not what CASA is, and you are desperate for male volunteers especially. Tell me let's start there. Tell me what CASA is.
So CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and these are volunteers out of our community who really just have a child's best interest at their heart. There's no special training. You do have to be 21. You don't have to be a social worker, an attorney, or a teacher. And you advocate on behalf of the child as they're going through the court system. So they have a foster family, they have an attorney, the family might have an attorney, and you speak. The judge asks you to be a voice for that child.
Why would the foster family not be that?
They are as well, but the CASA worker is really a neutral. They want what's best for the child. And oftentimes the court systems are backed up. The child really has a friend and a constant in the CASA worker. You know, some kids go from foster home to foster home. The CASA worker will stay with that child wherever they are through the duration of their trial. So a lot of kids rely on that person to be their kind of constant and their confidant to try to make sure that the child's best interest is served in the end. So.
Wow. And CASA's been around for, I mean, this is the 28th year of the house.
Correct.
Right? But CASA's been around. How did it get started?
A judge actually in Seattle had to make a hard decision about a 3-year-old on a case, and he said, I really wish I had just a neutral party who could tell me a little bit more information. And he started CASA 40 years ago, so it's only been around about 40 years. There are 17 CASAs in the state of Louisiana, and they serve the whatever judicial area in that each parish. And so we typically serve about 300 kids a year, and right now we have a wait list of children who need a CASA we don't have enough volunteers.
Oh my God.
So there's about 70, give or take, every day. It kind of changes based on children coming in or going out of the foster care system. So we are desperate to get people to do the training. There's a 30-minute orientation. It's online, so you can find out if it's something you're even interested in. And then the training that follows is pretty intense. It's 32 hours. It's on the course of 2 weeknights and 2 Saturdays for about 2 weeks, 32 hours. And you then are assigned a case, and you follow that case throughout the duration of that child's.
Now, do these children are they already in foster situations, or
Yes.
does the CASA volunteer ever have to interact with the biological parent?
Yes, the CASA volunteer interacts with the foster parents, the biological parents, the teachers, the medical professionals. So they are trying to gather as much information for the judge to make a good decision on whatever happens in the end with the child. So the main goal of most foster situations is to reunify the child with the family, either their family member or aunt, uncle, and that's what most CASAs want to see happen.
What about how? I don't know how comfortable you're going to be able to talk about this, but what are some of the reasons that CASA would need to get involved with a child?
Well, there's a plan for every child, and so CASA volunteers are making sure that the plan is followed, either through whatever the parents need to do to get the child back.
I mean, is it a child abuse situation, or is it somebody that just economically can't afford?
It could be all of that: abuse, neglect, abandonment. So the child has been removed from their home, from their parents, and they are placed in foster care. The foster care is usually a temporary place until the courts can decide whether the child is able to go home, if the parent is working a plan, if there's a relative who can take the child. So the CASA volunteer is kind of the voice for the judge to tell them, this is what I'm observing, this is what the child wants. If the child is old enough to talk, then they can say, this is kind of where I want to see this go. I'm doing the training starting in September, and so I'll know much more.
Well, we'll have you back and get you more information about
exactly.
that. How old are the CASA children? I mean, are you an adult at 18 and can make your own decisions, or how does that work?
The kids who need CASAs range from babies through the age of 18. And you know, they see the child. So a CASA volunteer actually needs to do home visits with the child and be observant of what's going on at school, sometimes medically. And so a CASA volunteer goes through a series of background checks before they can actually take on a case. And then they're supposed to go in the home and make observations. If they need to take the child to somewhere to the park, have a conversation. Truly, we're there at the pleasure of the judge. So the judge has just another set of eyes, another voice on what's going on with the child. So.
Well, and of course, when you make home visits, you're visiting the child at the foster home.
Right.
Gotcha. We're kind of skipping around on my question sheet here. When you look for a volunteer, obviously 18 plus, 18 years of age or older, what's your typical volunteer like? Who you want? When we were talking in the break room, you said you're in desperate need of male volunteers,
yes.
And I know our WAFB Scotty Hunter has been involved in CASA in the past. Mm-hmm. What is your what are your criteria? What are you looking for? And I'm expecting part of the evaluation you mentioned is got to be a psychological evaluation.
Well, you have to be 21 years of age.
Oh, 21, not 18.
Yes, not 18, 21. There are a series of background checks that have to be performed. There's really no psychological testing. It's just someone who has time and who has a heart for making sure a child is safe and in a permanent, safe home. Yes, Scotty was a CASA volunteer. He's actually spoke on behalf of the organization. And he and I are going to connect to just kind of brainstorm. But there are a lot of males in foster care, and they feel more comfortable usually to talk to a father figure or a male figure. So we are desperate for men, to try to step up and take the training and see if it's right for them.
I would think it would be best if that male is a parent themselves, possibly?
They don't have to be. Okay. They can really just be someone that has, a desire to help a child. They maybe don't want to be a foster family. They're not able to commit that amount of time, but they want to make be a voice and see positive change for a child. And so, I think Scotty was just married. He didn't have a child yet, so he was a great CASA volunteer. And we need more people. We have about 70 plus kids right now who need a CASA, and we don't have enough volunteers. With COVID, we blame everything on COVID, but
no, it has changed our world.
Definitely changed.
It has changed our world in some ways permanently.
I will say this is one positive, and I don't know how long it will last, but the courts for the CASA workers are still virtual. So it's via Zoom that the CASA volunteer is able to speak up for the child. And that actually, as much as I was thinking as I came in, well, I think face-to-face is better. You and I discussed, do you want to do this via Zoom or do you want to come in? And I said, I just want to get back to something normal where we talk face-to-face.
When we're vaccinated, I mean, we're not going to get into the the pros and cons of the vaccinations and the political side of it, or the medical side or religious side. But you and I have decided that vaccinations were right for us. Yeah. You do you, and we're not going to judge. But in our case, we felt very comfortable getting together. But you're right though about the face-to-face Now, the CASA volunteer, you're never alone with that child, correct?
Yeah, you are alone with
So
the
the child can feel free to speak
Yes.
openly about anything going on in the foster home,
Yep.
at their home, with their parents, anything like that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's why the series of background checks, we have an FBI background check that is performed. I had one coming in as the CEO, the executive director. But being that the court is still virtual for CASAs, that's kind of nice because you can just have your laptop up, you can be at work, and you can be waiting for your child's case to come up. And the judges know that we're there, and they ask, and what does CASA have to say? And a lot of times that's kind of the voice of the child. It's scary. Children are removed from their home. They might not be in the same school. They won't have the same friends. They won't live in the same area or neighborhood. And so it's a very scary place for a child to be, where they might bounce from a couple foster homes. But the CASA is constant. That person stays with them through the duration of their court.
One of my questions was about how does CASA make a difference in a child's life, and I saw this graphic on your Facebook page. Your Facebook page has an incredible amount of information on it, and I think it's Baton Rouge CASA. Is that how you find it? CASABR. Well, CASABR.org is the website, but I think it's Baton Rouge CASA for Facebook. And it said children and youth with a CASA volunteer reported significantly higher levels of hope. A child's hope has been linked to the numerous positive outcomes such as overall well-being, increased self-control, positive social relationships, and optimism. That is a powerful statement. And that's factual.
That's true. Very
now, these
true.
dates here on this particular slide I pulled up are for this year. So that if you are going to be a CASA volunteer, there are the dates and times right there, correct?
Correct. And I actually have updated it to go all the way through September. And you just click, sign up. It's a 30-minute Zoom, and you kind of get the lay of what it entails. And then you would sign up for one of the classes. And we are constantly doing those, as you see by the dates. We have lots of opportunities in the mid-morning, the evening, on the weekends. And so we are trying to get people to just take that first step. I mean, you can do it from your home. It's a Zoom call.
So it's one or the other. Like, for instance, July 15th says 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
You can choose one.
One or the other. You don't have to go to both.
Correct.
They're both identical.
And that's where you'll find out, is this for me? Is this something I think I can commit to? Do I have the time? Do I have the heart? Do I have, the capacity to do it? And so that's really the first step, is doing the orientation.
If they are interested, go to where?
They can go to our website, CASABR.org, and everything about the Playhouse is on the front page, and then volunteer is on the top right corner, and they can click there and sign up to try to do a Zoom, see if they want to become a CASA volunteer.
Do you need volunteers in other areas other than being a sponsor for a child?
Yes.
And if so, how does that work?
Well, we have a full board of directors. There's 23 or 4 people on the board, and then just what I'm doing right here. I would love to come out and speak to civic groups, religious groups, business organizations, come to perhaps a corporation and speak about CASA. And so if you have a connection and you say, hey, we want to have someone come in and talk about this, it sounds like something our company would like to explore. And then we have donors, financial donors and in-kind donors. At Christmas, we do a holiday open house, and people can donate Christmas gifts that CASAs can give to the child. So there's lots of support that we look for throughout the year, from financial all the way to toys.
And it's kind of like an angel tree. You'll tell us the
Yes.
age and sex of the child.
And you can pick, and then we have a big open house where the CASA volunteers come in and kind of shop for their kids, wrap, and then they have Christmas gifts. So.
Oh, that is so incredible. I'm so sad that this organization is needed, and in the same sentence, I'm blessed that this organization exists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It changes the direction of a child's life for the best. And I mean,
right.
It is sad that there has to be foster families and CASAs, but if there is, at least we have this positive to look forward to helping the child get the most success.
Let's go back to look at the house. You have a huge fundraiser coming up. It's your annual fundraiser, the 28th annual, I think, right?
Yep, 28
And
years.
this is the CASA Playhouse Fundraiser. It all culminates at the Renaissance Hotel on Sunday, the 31st.
Correct.
And there are many ways to buy a $5, all it is, $5 raffle ticket for that beautiful little playhouse right there that you can see at the Goodwood Library.
Yep.
So tell us how we can get tickets.
You can go on our website, casabr.org, and the very front page is going to have the house and Casas for Casa, which is a play on a house for Casa. We like to say we're looking for a permanent, safe house for children. So the playhouse kind of naturally made sense. So this year you can go to our website and you can buy a ticket for the house, a ticket for the event, or sign up to volunteer. So that screenshot had just about all the action steps that, and then I do have a QR code. Oh, good, you have it. If you literally take your phone right now and point the camera at that, it'll take you directly to the spot to buy the $5 raffle ticket.
Look at that.
So that's kind of cool.
All this high-tech stuff
High-tech.
you guys have.
Yes.
Fantastic. What are we missing?
I think we're good. Just have me back on. We'll chip away at that 70 number and do it. We're hoping to do a campaign to eliminate the wait list. That's kind of one of my first goals, is to get back out in front of the public, in front of companies and civic groups, go and talk to many groups in the first few months that I'm the executive director.
Give me those figures again about how many people you're serving and how many kids are on a wait list.
We usually serve about 300 children a year, and right now there's about 70 that need a CASA volunteer added to the foster family, the attorneys. That CASA volunteer is needed right now, about 70. Wow. And so that's my goal, is to shrink that number.
And of course you need more male volunteers right now.
We do. I'm going to pick Scotty Hunter's brain and see what he can tell me about how he got involved.
That's, it may be for you, it may not be for you. One of these sessions that she was talking about will definitely be able to help you understand if that is for you or not. There's some of the sessions there. And again, you said there are many more than that through September now that have been populated. But I guess the first one's coming up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what is that, Saturday? Mm-hmm. Saturday at 10 o'clock, where?
Zoom. You just log on to our
that's right.
site
Virtual.
and you'll sign up. You'll get a reply email with the link to click, and then you can just 30 minutes find out if that's something that's right for you.
Well, you are going to be a super executive director. You do have big shoes to fill. There she is.
Yeah.
Liz is the outgoing CASA of Baton Rouge executive director. And I can't think, just visiting with you for a few minutes, of a better person that could slide right into those shoes there.
Johnny. I
And you got
appreciate
her, obviously, until August.
Yes.
So that's good.
Thank
Liz,
goodness.
you're going to be missed,
Yep.
but stay in touch with us.
Yes.
I don't know what she's going to do. I don't think I'll ever be able to retire. I'm trying to find a way where I can work 5 years after I'm 6 feet under at the rate I'm going.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate all the time, and hopefully if we get one volunteer, it'll be a success.
Well, the house is so cool, and it's neat that you guys are offering that, Allison. And what a great opportunity for us to visit with you and get to know you now. And trust me, you will see her a lot on Channel 9, not only on WAFB, but right here on WAFB Plus. We're definitely going to keep in touch because this is such an incredibly important element of our society that is needed, and they are brilliant at picking up the pieces where that is.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Allison Traxler as the new executive director of CASA of Baton Rouge. Go to their website, casabr.org.
Correct.
And Baton Rouge CASA, I think, is how you can find them on Facebook. And just make sure you check them out because they are an awesome organization. And buy a raffle ticket. I'm going to buy several, as a matter of fact. Okay. You can buy a raffle ticket and give it as a gift. Yep. How fun is that?
Donate it. Yep.
Donate it as a gift. Allison, thanks again.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll see you again tomorrow morning on 9 News This Morning, dark and early at 4:30. Matt will be back with us. We'll have the full team back together. Matt, Steve, Liz, Co, and myself, Johnny Ahysen. Thank you for being with us on Ahysen Nation. Have a great Tuesday.